Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's weather forecast, we will be covering several things, including a new storm system moving across the country and looking ahead to Christmas as well as what your forecast could be for then. And then we'll dive into the details of early January and where's the snowfall. We'll be detailing that all in today's weather forecast. So welcome back, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday so far. Make sure if you're new to the channel to subscribe down below for detailed weather breakdowns across North America, and also press the like button. It helps out more than you know. Looking at the weather conditions as of this morning on December 20th, very quiet across southern Canada and the mainland United States. High pressure and firm control across the eastern two-thirds of the country. Our new storm system we're talking about is just off the coast of California that is bringing some unsettled weather to coastal California as of this morning, but the main impacts are yet to be seen. Low temperatures this morning as we woke up a couple of hours ago, and you can see temperatures did modify a little bit from yesterday morning to this morning. Temperatures are into the 20s across the country, middle 20s up there into the Chicagoland area, Des Moines up into the Twin Cities, a little milder further south, 30s and 40s, but still chilly for this time of year. And you can see across the east, temperatures are just a handful of degrees below normal, but across the west, it is above normal and 10 to 20 degrees above normal for this time of year for this morning. And that is going to be traveling east as we move through the week. So here's our 500 millibar height anomaly, and what this basically shows is the difference in pressure. So you see the blues and purples, that is typically low pressure, and that brings unsettled weather. When you see the reds and oranges and yellows, that is higher pressure, and that usually brings calmer weather and warmer weather across the country. So you can see that's across the eastern two-thirds. That's why it is so dry and quiet across the eastern United States, because that high pressure system is in control. Notice the purples and blues off the coast of California. That's our next strong storm system moving into coastal California this morning, but it will be moving into California as we go into Thursday and then especially Friday down here across Southern California, and then entering into the Four Corners region by the time we get into that Friday night time frame. So let's break this down first by looking at temperatures this week. You can see today, these are your high temperatures across the country. The cold air will be bottled up well to the north, so we don't have to worry about any Arctic air anytime soon. Temperatures will be right back above normal into the 30s, 40s, 50s out there, even some 60s well down to the south into Texas today. As we go into Thursday, much of the same, pretty much just copy and paste those high temperatures from today into Thursday again. That's what you see, and the same thing is for Friday as well. Just copy and paste Thursday's weather to Friday, and that's pretty much what we see with our temperatures out there across the United States. Now let's look at the precipitation. For today, there's our storm system across coastal California. Heavier rains up and down the coast of California there. A couple spotty showers moving in across Nevada, Utah getting into Arizona and western New Mexico. That will be widely scattered, but then as we go into Thursday, there's the main system moving inland into Southern California, so Los Angeles, the San Diego region, and southwestern California going to get a lot of heavy rainfall as we go into Thursday, some flooding rain for sure. And then as we go into Friday, the main system will be moving in across the Four Corners region, bringing us some heavier rains across Arizona, including the Phoenix region, and some higher elevation snows there across northeastern Arizona into those higher elevations. We also have some precipitation lingering around across the Mississippi Valley and the southern plains as well as we go into Friday. Here is your rainfall accumulation in inches now through Friday night on December 22nd. Our lead system up here across the Chicagoland area, getting through St. Louis, back into the Tulsa area, back into Dallas-Fort Worth, will be giving us some rain. Now, will it be that significant? Not looking to be the case. We're seeing probably 1/4 of an inch, upwards of 3/4 of an inch in some of these areas, with the highest accumulations across North Texas there into the Red River vicinity, Dallas-Fort Worth, Denton, up toward the Ardmore, Oklahoma region. Then as we go further west, notice notice our main storm system will be dumping some heavy rain across coastal California, getting into the Phoenix region. We see some heavier rainfall there as well. Zooming it in here, yeah, these totals are pretty heavy and pretty significant here for Southern California, the likes of which we haven't seen in quite some time. Los Angeles, San Diego seeing a few inches of rain. Over 6 inches of rain will be possible for the Los Angeles region, possibly closing in on 7-8 inches in a place or two there. And then over here into Phoenix, we could be seeing up to an inch of rain between now and Friday night. So a nice drink of water back here across the desert Southwest. And yes, it's a desert Southwest, so we don't normally see a lot of rainfall, but we will as we go through the week here. And it is concerning from a flash flood standpoint because of all of this rainfall in a short amount of time in that 24 to 48 hour period. We do have a slight to a moderate risk of flash flooding there, especially near the Los Angeles and San Diego region there today into Thursday. And then as we go from Thursday into Friday, another slight to moderate risk of flash flooding there into southwestern coastal California there. And just to note what that means is a slight risk of flash flooding means scattered flash floods are possible. They're mainly localized, but you have to watch those area roads, those small streams, creeks, and washes. And also you could see some isolated significant flash floods in a slight risk. Then as you get into moderate risk, just to the west of Los Angeles, where we could be picking up 6 to 10 inches of rain there, numerous flash floods are likely, and these could be significant. Many of the streams may flood, potentially affecting some larger tributary rivers, so you definitely have to keep an eye on that as we live in those moderate risk areas there into southwestern California. Then as we go from Friday into Saturday, entering into the early part of this holiday weekend, that flash flood probability will be shifting east toward the Phoenix region. So Phoenix, down there into southern Arizona and far southeastern portions of California, we have a marginal risk of flash flooding there Friday into Saturday. Now we have to talk about the snowfall. It's not going to have a lot of snowfall, I'm going to be quite honest with you, but there will be some accumulations across the Sierra Nevadas and then getting into portions in northeastern Arizona there, and into portions of Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico, seeing a couple of inches of snow. It's not going to be the heaviest snow we've ever seen out here, but definitely seeing some of those higher elevations picking up a few inches going into the early part of this weekend. Then as we go into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, this is for Saturday the 23rd and Sunday Christmas Eve on the 24th, that main piece of energy with that storm system will be moving into the west here across the Rockies and the Four Corners region. You can see that with the brighter colors here. This is the 500 millibar vorticity, and what this shows is the brighter colors is the mid-level spin in the atmosphere where you see the low pressure systems there. And then as we go into early next week, that'll kick out across the center of the country. So the Central Plains, the Illinois Valley, we're going to be seeing that storm system moving through Monday, Christmas Day, and then the day after on Tuesday the 26th, so watching out for travel plans there. And then as we go into the east on Thursday the 28th and 29th on Friday, so that will be moving across the mid-Atlantic and into the northeast. So let's look at this with the precipitation now as we go into this weekend. This is Saturday the 23rd and Christmas Eve, Sunday the 24th. Heavy snows across the Rockies, the Colorado Rockies, Wyoming, up there into Montana, Utah, Idaho, northwestern New Mexico. A lot of those areas will be seeing some heavier snows, probably adding up to several inches in some of those higher elevations. All rain, though, on the leading side of this storm from Oklahoma down into Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana, and possibly some stronger thunderstorms. We'll be keeping an eye on maybe a marginal risk of severe weather that could be popping up as we get closer to the event. And then early next week, we're going to have that low driving up into the Midwest. It's not a strong low pressure system. It's at a 1005 millibars, has a little bit of cold air to work with, a brief changeover to snow on the backside, and it's just too warm. That snowfall probably won't be sticking to pavement, but maybe some grassy surfaces up there into northwest Wisconsin, central Iowa, and then back toward the Kansas City region. All rain, though, across the southeast and heavier rains as it pushes through. Probably not looking at much severe weather, but we'll keep an eye on that early next week. Then as we go into late next week, the system will start to strengthen as it exits the country there into southeastern and eastern Canada, down to a 991 millibar low. Obviously, the lower the number, the stronger the pressure will be there. So it'll drop from a 1005 millibar to a 991 millibar low, getting stronger as it moves east later next week. Doesn't have a lot of cold air to work with, but enough to where we could see some lake effect snow showers, possibly some back end snows across the Ohio Valley, the upper Midwest, into the Great Lakes there, probably adding up to maybe an inch or two at most in some areas. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing rain across the Northeast and that I-95 corridor. When you put it all together, the rainfall accumulation in inches from Saturday the 23rd all the way through Sunday, December 31st, closing out the month of December. Very heavy precipitation across the middle of the country and the eastern side of the country there. Again, across portions of the mid-Atlantic, the southeast coast, getting down toward the Gulf Coast, some very heavy rains. Those are areas that just saw several inches of accumulating rain. We're going to be seeing another several inches of accumulating rain as we end the month of December, and that's fine. We need the rainfall across these areas. We have severe, extreme, and exceptional drought. We'll take it, but we don't need all the rainfall at once, so we'll keep an eye on flash flooding as well for you folks down there in the southeast. Then as we get after Christmas, so this takes us from Christmas Day all the way through the end of the month, above normal temperatures favored across most of the country there, especially up across the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast. And you can see here your high temperatures on Monday, Christmas Day. This is the 25th of December. It's going to be probably one of the warmest Christmases across the eastern United States that we have seen in quite some time. 52 degrees Fahrenheit in Chicago, 51 there in Indianapolis, 55 in St. Louis, 57 in Nashville, and look at that, folks, closing in on 70 down there at 68 degrees Fahrenheit in Jackson, Mississippi on Monday, Christmas Day. A little bit of cold air across the Rockies and the northern plains into the 20s and 30s on Christmas Day. Nothing we can't handle. It definitely can be much cooler this time of year. Then once that storm system kicks out to the east and moves off the coast as we go into the middle of next week, we see a cool down. Obviously, as that cold front moves through, temperatures will drop back to near normal to still slightly above normal. We have high temperatures in the 20s and 30s up there in the Midwest, 40s, 50s, and 60s further south on Wednesday, the 27th. And then we see a little plunge of some colder air across the upper Midwest there. Teens into the 20s for highs across portions of the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, northern Illinois, and then stretching across the Ohio Valley and into interior New England. A little shot of cold air later next week, right before December is done on Friday, December 29th. And then the mild air will be further south again, the Houston region, low 70s as we go into next Friday. Then as we enter into early January, you're probably thinking, well, it's January, where's all the cold air? Well, we are in an El Nino pattern, and you can see as we go through January 12th of 2024 here, above normal temperatures are favored and well above normal likely up here into the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and into the Northeast, and some of that could be as far south even as the Mid-South, seeing above normal temperatures. A very El Nino look here. We have equal chances of above or below normal and then straight below normal temperatures across the Four Corners region, the Rio Grande Valley, near the Gulf Coast, and the Southeast Coast, especially for Florida there, as we go through that January 12th timeframe. Now let's look at our precipitation outlook through the 12th. Once that first storm system moves through at the end of December, we're going to have a dry time in between across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley, and then we have another storm system that will be moving further to the south again with that El Nino pattern across California, the Sacramento Valley again, Los Angeles, San Diego above normal, Las Vegas, getting into Phoenix, all the way up here into Denver. We're going to be seeing some above normal precip for the first 10, 12 days of the month of January. And looking at our jet stream during that January 2nd timeframe, as we turn the page to 2024, we have a trough across the southern United States here, and you can see it's digging all the way south this time to the Rio Grande Valley, well to the south, that polar jet well up to the north. So we have that split flow, much like we've seen from mid to late December, and that means we're going to have a little bit of precipitation up here into Canada. Some of that could be snow, especially into British Columbia there, like we've seen it. Dry time in between, and then that Pacific jet stream, that subtropical jet, will be feeding us with some moisture across the south and the southeast for early January, taking us through that 12th of January timeframe. And Texas, especially the Rio Grande Valley, east central Texas, and portions of the lower Mississippi Valley and the southeast does get in on that action as we go into early January. Now, looking at our snow depth in early January, it's going to remain well to the north. Northern Canada and Alaska seeing a lot of snow cover right now. Greenland, obviously, as well. A little bit of snow cover into early January across the northern Rockies and those higher elevations. And then maybe parts of interior New England where we've seen some heavier snows this season. That's where that snow line will remain as we go into early January. So we need to be patient on this weather pattern changing. You can see early January, our temperatures are just going to be too mild to see much in the way of snow with these systems. So we'll continue to see lots of rain, and looking at our low temperatures even, they're not really getting that cold. You can see the real deep purples and pinks up here into northern Canada, into Siberia, into Greenland, into Alaska. That will remain bottled up to the north as we go through the first half of January. But I do think things will begin to change toward the middle of January, and our pattern will begin to flip toward a more wintry one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed today's weather forecast. If you did enjoy it, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for detailed weather breakdowns across North America. Also, if you did enjoy it, make sure to press the like button down below. It helps out more than you know. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media. And I hope everybody has a great rest of their Wednesday out there.